Do you struggle with setting boundaries without feeling guilt of disappointing other people? Boundaries is a really loaded topic, which especially women find it really hard to tackle. So if this is a topic that resonates with you and you want to find out some practical tips that will help you navigate setting healthy boundaries and protecting your well-being in the process, then please stick around. For anyone new to this channel, hello, I am Tanya. I am a rapid transformational therapist and coach, and my mission is to empower women over the age of 40 to authentically truly love themselves, and in so doing setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing their needs in order for them to thrive in whichever phase of life they may find themselves in. So within this video, I've also created a little mini series where it's about tackling the whole topic of boundaries, because I appreciate your time is precious. You may not have the time or inclination to read books on the topic, and this is something that I have really benefited myself. So I have done the read and I've done the exercises. I have used the tools and the techniques with my clients and in my own personal life, and I am reaping and they are reaping the benefits of it. So I've created these kind of 3 videos to give you the kind of high level practical tips that if you start implementing in your life, you will start seeing benefits fairly quickly as well. And the first one is about using the pause and the reflect method. Now, I touched upon that a little bit on the kind of first video, but I want to elaborate a little bit more. And this is where the next time someone makes a request that they want you to assist them or give up your time or help them in any kind of capacity, rather than responding straight away, I want you to take a few minutes to just pause and reflect. And that reflection is you're looking inwards and saying, yes, let me get back to you if you don't have the capacity and bandwidth to respond straight away. If it isn't a yes, absolutely, this is a priority and I need to get involved in, then it's about you taking the time to reflect. Is this an absolute yes? And if it is an absolute yes, is it because it is a pattern of behavior that you've always done where you people please because you want to be nice, but in action you're fearing rejection? Is that the rationale for it? Or are you genuinely wanting to say no, but you find it really uncomfortable to voice that, to express that in a way that doesn't result in disappointment and rejection and you feeling guilty in the process? So the good news is, just like any habit, when we first start doing it, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel unfamiliar because we've not practiced it. We've never done it enough times for us to learn and for us to get comfortable with actually doing it. And sometimes that discomfort is just so pronounced that then it becomes easier for us to just sort of like, oh, I'm just going to say yes to avoid that kind of sense of feeling guilty and the disappointment that I'm going to create. But in actual fact, you're doing a disservice to yourself, because the whole point of you wanting to pause, wanting to reflect, wanting to create the boundaries is for you to stay on your side of the road. You've got your own priorities and your own needs and your own goals and aspirations that you are striving to achieve. And if you are constantly letting go of what your priorities are to meet other people's needs, then you're always going to let yourself down. You're always going to be the one that is helping everyone else, and then you're going to feel exhausted. You're going to start feeling resentful, and you are not going to achieve your goals and aspirations. So we need to have balance. I'm not saying that you push everyone away and it's a no straight, like it's an absolute no in every situation, but you need that time to reflect, to see what have you got the capacity and the bandwidth to support. Do you genuinely want to do something? Because if you don't, then the kindest thing to do for yourself and for the other person is to be honest and upfront. But that might take some practice. So then it's about keep going. So as uncomfortable it is, you need to start showing up for yourself. So don't give up, even if it is uncomfortable. The more practice, the more repetition, then the easier and more comfortable it's going to become. And I certainly can attest to that. Over the past 6 months, I have consistently been pausing and reflecting and then responding back. And I feel so much prouder and happier and more balanced within myself, and the guilt is definitely not there for me. So I know that that is within your grasp to achieve that. So practical tip number 2, it's about reframing guilt into a sign of growth. And this is where we've got emotions, and emotions will come and go. Guilt is something that we've associated where from our past behaviours and patterns, and we've got a belief and a story and a narrative that we constantly repeat to ourselves, that we feel guilty and bad about ourselves for not helping other people. Because one of the things that we are taught as we sort of grow up is be helpful, be nice, be supportive of other people. But what we're not actually being taught is by setting healthy boundaries, we can actually support ourselves, be self-sufficient, and in doing so, then we'll have more energy, more capacity, more bandwidth within ourselves that we can then turn up and be supportive of other people and help problem solve and come up with solutions to challenges and obstacles that will add more value, and it will save time in the long term. So this is the thing. Emotions are like waves. They come and they go. They're not permanent. They're not fixed. So that guilt that you may feel is because there is discomfort. You might not have practiced it enough. It might be unfamiliar and therefore uncomfortable. But if you sort of push through because you've got your strong, you've done your pause reflect, you know that right now it's not the right time for you to be there and fulfill that request. Therefore, you're actually showing up and respecting yourself. And it's about sitting with that feeling and accepting that the guilt will go, and you're going to feel proud. It will be replaced with a sense of you'll feel proud that you actually supported and you showed up for yourself. And the more you're expanding your comfort zone, the more you start creating the healthier boundaries, then that repetition and practice is going to start replacing that sense of feeling guilty for potentially disappointing and letting people down, and seeing it as the opportunity for you to take care of your needs and also teach others that it's their responsibility to take care of their needs. It's not necessarily that you are the only person that can help them. There's other people that they could probably reach out to. So it's about that kind of win-win situation where you're helping support other people's growth as well as your own, but it's about you tackling your sense of guilt. Practical tip number 3 is about scripting your boundaries in advance. And this is about you being absolutely clear. What are your boundaries? What are your absolutely, there is no way that you would actually accept or tolerate the way a behavior or a pattern or an action or the way someone may have spoken to you or the way that someone always makes you feel a certain way. And it's about you knowing what are your absolutely red lines, this is definitely a no-go zone. I am not going to tolerate that behavior, and as a result I need to actually be firm. And if people then keep repeating and they sort of overstep the boundaries that you've set, it's about you then making decisions. Well, what are the repercussions of their actions going to mean for you? Are you going to cut them off? Are you going to ghost them? Or are you going to be upfront and honest and articulate to them why you've actually decided to not respond the way that they may have wanted to respond? But the only way that you're going to gain confidence in actually doing this work is for you to actually replay, visualize and see how you want that conversation to play out, or the email that you want to actually draft, or the text message that you want to say. Try it a few different ways and see which is the one that's going to feel authentic, which is going to resonate with you, and that is actually not being cruel and unkind, but at the same time, it's actually not just a no, I'm not doing it, and then you're blanking them, but it's about no, I can actually support you right now, but next week would be better, or tomorrow would be better, or give me a few hours and I'll get back to you. Whatever you actually need, but it's about you actually protecting your well-being, your kind of capacity and bandwidth. But by practicing and coming up with these scenarios, you're going to give yourself the practice, and also you're going to, like, it's going to take a bit of work, don't get me wrong, there is a bit of effort involved, because just like any new skill, the more you actually do it, the more comfortable, the easier, and the more kind of automatic it becomes. So let me know in the comments below, have you actually scripted, have you, like, since the last video, if you've watched the first video, have you introduced that kind of pause and reflect? Are you able to sort of like articulate fairly comfortably at this moment in time a no to someone, or in a way that feels authentic and genuine to you? Let me know in the comments below. And until the next video, if you've liked and enjoyed the content, if you resonate with my vibe, please like and subscribe. If you think someone in your life would benefit from this content and this kind of channel's information, please share it with them. And I want you to go out and seize the day, pause and reflect, and start scripting your kind of boundaries and what you're actually wanting to sort of accept, tolerate, and the things that are absolute no-goes, and start reframing that guilt. Sit with the guilt and reframe it as the growth. And let me know in the comments what's worked, what hasn't resonated, and we can sort of like see if the kind of number 3 video is actually going to give you that kind of full complete package on how to set the kind of healthy boundaries. So seize the day, and remember, you've got choices. You can actually protect your well-being by setting healthy boundaries. So until the next one, bye.